Hello, Brandon Lewis here again with the APPC, and I'm excited to talk about our fifth part of the Core 5 strategies, which is going after large commercial repaint accounts in your local area for facility managers and maintenance managers that are 40,000 square feet and larger. This was a huge win for me in my own painting business, and it has been a tremendous source of revenue and stability for our academy members. Now, we in my painting business had really good luck with a couple of vertical niches. We went after tanks, fuel tanks. You'll be driving down the road. I know that you've seen these before, and you'll see large fuel tanks, sometimes water tanks. Some of them are long, huge, vertical ones, or rather horizontal. Some of them are vertical, very large, maybe 100 feet up in the air, and maybe 100 feet in diameter. So we had a good niche there. We also had a good niche with private schools and colleges, and we had really good niche with large Class A office space and large employers in our area. And those people would routinely send us $100,000, $200,000 a year collectively with work. And so what we teach you in your fifth month, or really I guess it's really month 4 of the Core 5 systems, is how to go after these. And so you see that they are right. Here's a few things I want you to know. Is number 1, they are right in your backyard. There are more of these accounts in your backyard than you even know. When I walk our members through this strategy and they end up getting the list of people who this represents, they are always amazed. And what I continually hear is, Brandon, I did not know this was here. Brandon, I drive by this every day. Brandon, I know somebody here. Did not have any idea that this much potential was right in my backyard. And it's not just people that are in mid-size and metro markets. Almost every county in the surrounding collar counties, rural counties, have a handful of stable employers or a few places where facilities are larger. And so we're going to go after those. And even in some cases, places of worship. Even if you're in a small town, there are still schools, there are places of worship, there are employers. And so this is right in your backyard, and you can go after and get these people in a systematic fashion. The second thing I will let you know is that they are never approached. When I talk to facility and maintenance managers, they use the painters they use because they've just never been approached by anyone else. When you talk to facility managers, maintenance managers, plant managers, what they'll tell you is just, I've never heard of a painting contractor. Or not heard of, but heard from rather, a painting contractor. No one has reached out to me. Nobody has tried to find me. Nothing has ever happened. Number 3, I think it's important for you to know, is that you're in control. So often people will tell me, Brandon, I don't want to do any commercial work. I just want to do residential work. And I tell them, you are in complete control of what you do when you run through our system to try to find a commercial revenue source that's a fit for you. If you don't want to do large tank jobs like I did with sandblasting and some lifts, you know what you do when those opportunities show up? You just say, you know what, I thank you so much, but I just think this is a little too big for me. We don't do this type of stuff. We can help you with your offices, but we're not going to help you with these big tanks. And if you run across a church, yes, we can paint the interior, and yes, we can paint parts of your building and your Sunday school rooms, and we can paint this and that. But we're just not set up to scaffold your entire sanctuary to get this 100-year-old ceiling. You're in complete control. Most of the work that you're going to go after is easy to do work. It's just more doors, more walls, more windows, more ceilings. It's no different than a house. There's just more of them. And these people tend to be very easy to deal with because there's less setup cost. There's less aggravation. Their expectations are different. There's not an emotional involvement. It's strictly about getting the work done. And you don't have to wait forever in most cases to get paid in a repaint situation like you do with the general contractor. These people can cut you a check in 30 days or less, and often as soon as the job is done, depending on who you're doing business with, you can truly walk down to the office and get a check in that very day or in 7 days or so. It's hard to make a fortune painting grandma's bedroom. There's lots of setup, lots of starting, lots of stopping. Should you do the work? Absolutely. In my opinion, it's the bread and butter. It's what pays for the overhead. It's what pays for so much that is really good in our painting business. However, the commercial work is really what allows you to get large chunks of money together. Large chunks of money when you get paid $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, and when 30%, 40%, 50% of that is profits, that's what can really allow you to catapult your personal income. And the other thing I will mention is that you need a system and, most importantly, a program if you're going to get these people to respond to you. We need to approach them with something that's better than please give me your work. We've got to have a very good offer. And we have to have a system that holds all the moving parts in place. If you went down to Sherwin-Williams and you asked people in the morning, would you like to find more commercial work? Everybody says yes. And then when you would ask them, how do you do it? Everyone says, I don't know. You get lucky. That's what most people think finding commercial work is getting lucky. It's not. Number 5, many businesses live off commercial maintenance. I was recently in Denver, Colorado at a marketing conference, and I got to meet with my wife's great aunt's son-in-law, who is about 65 years old, and he had been in his life before retirement a commercial light bulb salesperson. And he was the number one person in the Denver area, and he made his entire existence off 100% commercial maintenance. If you think you're in a commodity business, could you imagine selling light bulbs? There are people who do nothing but service commercial people in a maintenance capacity, and that's their entire business, 100% of it. You can transform your painting business just by taking the 95-5 split, where it's 95% residential, 5% commercial, and raising that to 90-10 or raising it to 80-20 can make huge differences in your overall income. So I want you to really consider this as a possibility, is that it can be done. They are out there. And then finally, this is a long-term process. Some of the things that we do, like our customer reactivation campaign, you can truly pay for your entire annual APPC membership within 30 days of joining our program. It's fast, it's quick, it's immediate, and you can quickly build referral sources. You can begin to use your at-home monthly newsletter to even things out. There are all kinds of things that you can do that are exceptionally quick in our Core 5 system. And we do find that when people run through our commercial lead generation campaign, that they find work, usually 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, depending on the time of year, big projects to look at within 30 days if they'll just run the program, okay? However, this is a long-term deal, and here's why. In your local market, you will discover, if this is representative of your local market, that there are a handful of really large, really good, hot prospects for your painting services. You see, when it comes to your residential, it's more about always being there so that when they need you, they use you and refer you if a neighbor asks them a question, or they suggest you even when a neighbor doesn't ask a question about who they should use at painting. It's more about timing. Here, it's more about the fact that you're going to continually market to these people in a program-driven way with campaigns and maintenance marketing until they do one of two things. Until they buy or die. I call this buy or die marketing. Meaning that once you realize that your top 20 employers have really big buildings in your county and you want that work, you are going to market and market and market and market to them because they're worth so much money you can't ever afford not to. So this is a long-term thing. Everything we've really described so far works in tandem. They have short-term and long-term results. You just have to remember that once you start approaching this target, that you've got to continually and constantly stay in front of them. Finally, what I want to say is to talk to you a little bit about my own personal experience with this buy or die marketing. And that is this. I had people, when I went after commercial accounts, who immediately, because the time was right, said, "Here, Brandon, we've got a $60,000 job for you to look at," and I would go out, look at it, and it would close in no time. I had some people I would call on and using my specific system for 3 months or so, and then I would get a job. I had some people here, and I think it's important for you to know, that I marketed to for 2 or 3 years and never ever got the time of day out of them. It's a numbers game. Sometimes you have to market until maybe they don't buy or die. Maybe the painter messes up. Maybe the facility manager changes, or maybe some new protocol or procedure comes out that makes them have to go look for different painters. You never know what's changing in this marketplace. You have to be ever present. However, I will tell you this, and this should be very, very, I suppose, what's the best way to say, encouraging to you. Number one, nobody reaches them. Number two, they're easy to identify. Number three, we have a done-for-you system that allows you to do it. And finally, everybody in almost every field of sales or marketing has this really nasty, awful, poverty-inducing habit of stopping short. Well, really, it's never getting started, and then starting and then stopping short. We teach you how not to do that. And you would be surprised how much success lies just beyond where the average person quits. And I will tell you this, the average person quits pretty soon, especially when they don't have a system and guidance and proven tools that are done for you like we have here at the APPC. So we've talked about this fifth step in the Core 5 system. The fifth thing we're going to do with you as you go through your boot camp, you're really equipping your painting business, getting the 5 most important systems up and running so you can make more money, live a better life, have more certainty, more peace of mind, more predictability. So now that you've heard about this, please go ahead and click the button so we can get on the phone and talk about what this looks like in your painting business and what it could mean. There's one more video coming. It'll be the last one in this series where we talk about our marketing mastery calendar and our ongoing support. You see, once you get through the Core 5 systems, we're going to make sure that you don't lose all of the things you have built, but rather we're going to maintain them for you so that you can get the absolute best and biggest value out of these Core 5 systems. Thank you so much, and I look forward to talking to you really soon. Click the button below and let's have a conversation.